This is World Insight with me, Tian Wei. A spike in Omicron cases in Shanghai, though most of them are asymptomatic cases. A big part of the city has been locked down for a few days, and that's a huge strain on city's logistics as millions of people are staying at home under what some call static management. Troubles with delivery and containment measures have led to neighborhoods trying to cope with scarcer food supply. The pressure to keep deliveries going falls on online platforms, which are scrambling also to boost the logistics. I earlier talked to Xia Huaxia, the vice president and chief scientist of Meituan, one of China's most popular online services. He told me how his team has been mobilizing resources in order to meet the bigger consumer demand in Shanghai. Xia Huaxia, Vice President and Chief Scientist of Meituan, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule, but tell me more about why is it so difficult for residents in Shanghai to get vegetables and to even buy vegetables online, Mr. Xia?
我觉得有两个方面的原因，一个方面是说
I think there are two reasons. One is that many people are isolated at home because of the pandemic, so the demand for takeaways and vegetables from e-commerce platforms has swelled. Big pressure of logistics and distribution have been put on our e-commerce platforms.
压到了我们的各个电商的平台上面。
Now, how are you trying to solve the delivery issue?
我们很多的业务在从两个方面来解决这个问题。
There are two ways to tackle the problem. One is a new way to make delivery more efficient, and the second is improving transport capacity through multiple channels. For example, we have launched a community order collection model. Generally speaking, after a user places an order for groceries on the app, we deliver the order within 45 minutes, which is a strict requirement for delivery. The community order collection model requires all users place their orders and then we deliver them together the next day, which makes the delivery much more efficient. This new model now covers more than 7,000 communities in Shanghai with 8 million people, and we have so far delivered about 170,000 meals within a week.
在这个产品短短推出的一周多的时间里边，我们已经送出了17万份的餐品。
I know also you are trying to use a new delivery vehicle. It is called autonomous vehicle. Tell me more about that. You are trying to use that to solve the so-called last mile problem. Mainly, people cannot do that point to point and face to face, but rather you use a vehicle trying to solve that problem. How is it going so far?
OK， 这个就是我刚才说的，我们用的第二种策略，就是尽量的去补充运力。其实补充运力。
This is the second way that I mentioned earlier, which is to add to the transport capacity. We have deployed about 1,000 delivery riders from cities across China to Shanghai. Meanwhile, we use automated delivery vehicles, 50 of which were urgently deployed from Beijing to Shanghai. The capacity of these vehicles is very large. They can carry about 150 kilograms of goods at a time, and they can travel at a speed of more than 20 kilometers per hour, way more efficient than human riders. The automated delivery vehicle also minimizes human contact. Amid the pandemic, especially in communities with a high proportion of cases, the safety of the riders can be better ensured as we use automated vehicles rather than riders. Goods on the self-driving vehicles are delivered to a vegetable station or government-designated supermarket. We then set the address in the vehicle system and it can automatically drive to the interior of the communities, where the food is then unloaded by volunteers and distributed within the community.
那这辆车就可以自动的行驶到我们的指定的社区内部，然后再由社区里的志愿者把食品啊、蔬菜啊卸下来，在社区里分发。
Now, the delivery men are extremely important. Of course, during the pandemic time, particularly this particular situation in Shanghai, many of them are also having difficulties going to work and even to be able to provide themselves with sufficient food, as they might be quarantined in certain places that are not necessarily their home. So how are you helping these delivery men and women while they are trying to provide their public service to the customers who are the citizens of Shanghai?
目前前线的很多的骑手的确非常的辛苦。
Frontline delivery workers are giving it their all indeed. All our riders and staff have to wear full-body protective clothing, but many of our colleagues from Beijing left the city when temperatures were still quite low, maybe 3 degrees. And now the temperature in Shanghai is so warm. They did not expect the temperature to rise so quickly in such a short period of time, the result of which is that they wear a jacket underneath the protective clothing. And by the end of the day, they are drenched in sweat. Accommodation is also very challenging. Riders live in hotels, and if there's a COVID-19 case, then everyone in the hotel has to be isolated. So now they have prepared a lot of tents and sleeping bags so that if the hotel is not available, they can sleep in tents or in cars. Many of the riders come from other cities, which means they are on business trips. So travel expenses, including accommodation costs, are covered by the company. Their meals are also provided by the company, but the riders often don't have time to eat, and it's also difficult to buy meals. So we have a support team to serve their riders and help them allocate the supplies they need, including their own meals, disinfectant alcohol, and other materials.
调拨这种抗疫所需要的物资，包括他们自己的这个一日三餐，然后包括像那个消毒酒精啊等等一些物资。
I understand. Now it's already a lot of work, which really makes me wonder about the last question, if I can. I know you have a very busy schedule. With the pandemic situation in Shanghai, everybody is very concerned. We all hope things would go smoothly in the near future, but things are unpredictable. So how do you see the role of science and technology really reflected in this case? And how do you see, the roles of policies of using the right technological tools at the right time to serve the final purpose?
是的，我觉得在这一次的疫情当中，我们看到了很多新的科技的产品。
We have seen many new high-tech gadgets play a significant role this time. For example, our self-driving delivery vehicles can do things that are not easy for riders to do in many scenarios, such as helping hospitals to deliver samples for nucleic acid testing, since it involves high risks of viral transmission. Using automated delivery vehicles, we just need to disinfect the vehicle and it's more safe and efficient. We also saw a lot of other new tech applications. For example, we can now use accurate big data to trace the origin of the virus. We also saw robots being used to do disinfection. The only thing we regret is that we were only able to play a small part in the fight against the COVID-19 outbreak in Shanghai. We still do not have enough automated delivery vehicles now, and we look forward to new technology that can be more useful in emergency situations.
未来我们能够有更多更好的这样的科技产品，能够在这种在紧急的情况下产生更大的作用。
Every effort counts. Thank you so much, Xia Huaxia, for you, your team, and your colleagues at Meituan for contributing the part that you can at this moment. Really appreciate it. That's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to know more, search World Insight. Check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Tian Wei. On behalf of my team, thanks for being with us. Bye for now.